Our solar system is home to a whole host of celestial bodies that range from scorching hot to freezing cold, from colossal gas giants to tiny frozen rocks. And while none of these objects pose a threat to our existence, they do have one thing in common: their gravity. And today we're answering the question, what if a black hole streaked through our solar system? The Sun is by far the largest object in our solar system, weighing in at a spry trillion pounds, which is about 333,000 times the weight of all the matter in the Earth. So what happens if one of these cosmic behemoths takes a leisurely stroll through our planetary playground? The closer a planet is to the Sun, the stronger the Sun's gravitational pull is on that planet. Some of the planets would move inwards towards the Sun and others would fly outwards into deep space. As a result, some planets would move faster and others would slow down. And once their orbits were changed, they wouldn't return to normal. You see, each planet also orbits around an axis with its rotation speed matching the speed of its orbital speed. That's why Mercury whips around the Sun faster than the outer planets like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. While this might sound pretty cool, it could spell doom for our planet. Furthermore, the gravitational lensing effect would warp the light coming from the Sun, meaning that Earth would receive wildly fluctuating amounts of light and heat. These changes in light and heat would wreak havoc on our climate, causing Earth to become a barren wasteland in a matter of days. See, the Earth is covered in life thanks to just the right conditions. The immense gravity would stretch Earth until it was as thin as spaghetti, then crush it until it was as dense as nuclear matter. At that point, the planet would be nothing more than a pancake of subatomic particles. See, black holes aren't just giant cosmic vacuum cleaners that suck everything in, they're also incredibly dense. That is because the intense gravity on the other side would pull Earth apart and stretch it until it was as thin as a sheet of paper. But what if the black hole didn't destroy Earth? What would happen then? At that point, the planet would be nothing more than a thin sheet of rock and dust. Do you think Earth could survive a trip through a black hole? Let me know your thoughts below. In fact, the density of a black hole is so great that if you were to stand on its surface, you would be utterly crushed into a pancake. One thing's for sure though, if Earth did survive a trip through a black hole, things would never be the same again. We have a perfect amount of water, a breathable atmosphere, and a comfortable temperature. However, we do know that once something crosses the event horizon, it can never come back. So if Earth were to cross that threshold, it would disappear forever, never to be seen again. Since we don't really know what happens inside a black hole, anything is possible. It's entirely possible that Earth would simply vanish into oblivion. Or maybe it would emerge on the other side of the universe, or perhaps it would be thrown back out of the black hole at incredible speeds. The further away a planet is from the Sun, the weaker the Sun's gravitational pull becomes. As a result, the further away a planet is from the Sun, the slower it moves. But what if Earth were to somehow survive the journey through the black hole? Would we emerge unscathed on the other side? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for new videos every week, and as always, thanks for watching. But what if instead of being pulled apart or flung into deep space, Earth were to fall directly into the black hole? Would we be met with a fiery death or a quick trip to the other side? Unfortunately, neither. The first thing that would happen is that the planet's orbits would be affected. In comparison, the next largest object in the solar system is the planet Jupiter, which weighs about 1.9 kilograms, making it about 318 times lighter than the Sun. This mismatch would create extreme tides on the planet, tearing apart any planet that isn't massive enough to maintain its shape. Even worse, the changing orbits would cause collisions between the planets and the smaller objects in the solar system, including asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Each body has its own gravitational pull, which in its own small way affects the motion of other objects in the solar system. If it were to pass between the Sun and Earth, it would get sucked in and crushed before ever reaching the planet. If it passed further out, the planet would probably be knocked out of orbit altogether and flung into deep space, where it would wander aimlessly for eternity. But how would that gravitational supremacy fare against an object so heavy that not even light can escape its grasp? A black hole. That's because when a black hole passes near an object, it doesn't just tug on the object with its gravity, it also pulls spacetime itself. This warping of spacetime creates a phenomenon known as gravitational lensing. There are a number of black holes scattered throughout our galaxy, some of which are close enough to us that we might be able to detect perturbations in the nearby star's path, hinting at the unseen presence of these mysterious objects. Others lie dormant within the very center of the Milky Way, suspected to be supermassive in size. But what if an object much more massive than any of the planets or even the Sun streaked through this delicate balance? Welcome to my channel. As such, the Sun's gravitational force reigns supreme over all the other objects in our solar system, keeping them in their planetary orbits and in check. And while none of these black holes have been spotted in our neck of the woods, astronomers predict that there is likely an extremely high concentration of rogue black holes floating around our solar system right now. When an object enters a gravitational field, it will continue to accelerate until it either collides with another object or escapes the gravitational pull completely. But what would happen if a black hole entered the solar system and disrupted the delicate balance of forces? If a planet started moving too quickly or too slowly, its rotational speed wouldn't match its orbital speed anymore. How would Earth fare in this scenario? Well, it would depend on exactly where the black hole passed through. Even if the black hole missed Earth entirely, however, we still wouldn't be safe. As light passes through the distorted spacetime, it bends and magnifies, creating a sort of cosmic magnifying glass effect that can make distant objects appear much brighter than they actually are. But if the Earth were to get any closer to the black hole, the tidal forces would become so strong that they would rip the planet apart. In fact, the entire solar system would become a graveyard of shattered planets, warped asteroids, and broken comets. Due to the event horizon, there's no way to know what lies beyond the point of no return. We might think that falling into a black hole would be a quick and painless affair, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Even if Earth managed to avoid being stretched or crushed, it would still be met with temperatures so hot that it would vaporize the planet in a matter of seconds. Well, not exactly. So even if Earth were to survive the trip through the black hole, it wouldn't last long on the other side. So whether Earth were to be destroyed by tidal forces, crushed by gravity, or torn apart by the event horizon, there's no chance of survival if we fell into a black hole. Well, that's a bit of a tricky question to answer. Or maybe, just maybe, Earth would be spat out somewhere else in the universe, completely alone, or maybe time travel would be a real thing. So while a black hole passing through our solar system would undoubtedly be a catastrophic event, it might also be the adventure of a lifetime. For more videos of ours that you might enjoy, check out What If the Earth Went Around the Sun Faster? Or watch What Would Happen If the Sun Exploded?